In this video, we'll be going over the ritual endgame system in PoE 2, including the basics, some farming tips to make your life easier, a rundown of the passive tree and what nodes I'd recommend, and a quick guide to the Pinnacle boss fight. This is the icon for ritual. It can spawn naturally on maps or be added through precursor tablets. Ritual maps contain a number of ritual altars, usually 3 or 4 per map, at which you must defeat enemies within the circle to sacrifice them to the altar. After you do that, you can interact with the altar to start the ritual, which closes off your playable area and brings the sacrificed monsters back to life. It will also bring back to life any monsters from the previous ritual sites within the same map, so the number of monsters, difficulty, and rewards increase as you do more on that map. This can be very dangerous if your build is reliant on keeping distance from enemies and not getting surrounded, so be careful. You earn tribute for each enemy defeated, with more for magic monsters and even more for rares. Once all enemies are dead, the ritual will end, and you can interact with the altar to spend your tribute on favors. You won't be able to view all available favors until you've completed the ritual event multiple times within the same map. Favors are listed in order of tribute cost, with the most expensive being in the top left of the window and the least expensive being in the bottom right. Typically, the cheapest items will be revealed first, and you'll almost never want to spend any tribute until you've revealed everything available. There are a number of ritual-specific rewards that you can find in these you'll want to look out for, including omens, which are a single-use item that can be placed in your inventory and activated to trigger something that happens on a specific action occurring. For example, Omen of Greater Exaltation makes it so that the next exalted orb you use will add 2 random modifiers instead of 1. Omen of Amelioration prevents 75% of experience loss when dying, and Omen of Resurgence fully recovers your life, mana, and energy shield if you reach low life. Another thing you want to keep an eye out for is an audience with the king, which is the item needed to get to the Pinnacle boss fight. Even if you're not trying to do the Pinnacle boss fight yourself, this is a very valuable item to get, currently worth 5 to 6 divine. If you do find an audience with the king, the first time you see it will cost around 4,000 tribute, which you almost certainly will not be able to get from a single map. Which brings us to the next mechanic to explain, deferring. At the bottom of the favors window, you will see a defer button. This allows you to defer an item, which will force it to reappear in a future ritual at a reduced cost. It will cost you 15% of the full cost to defer it, so around 600, and it will also discount the future cost by 10%. So the idea here is that you will keep finding it in rituals and defer it each time until you can actually afford it. If you don't see anything worthwhile in the favors available, you can reroll them once for 1,000 tribute. Generally speaking, I don't bother rerolling unless I have over 1,600 tribute, because after rerolling, you want to have enough available to purchase or defer any item that you want. An audience with a king is the most expensive item that I've personally come across, but supposedly there are even more expensive items that can show up, but they are rare. For this reason, it's almost never worth spending tribute on anything until you've completed all rituals on the map, seen the rewards available, and rerolled if nothing super valuable showed up. After your reroll though, or if you don't have over 1,600, you might as well spend it, because tribute does not carry over to future maps. To set up your map for farming rituals, you will want to find a good spot with multiple overlapping towers, and use ritual precursor tablets on them. Some great precursor modifiers to look out for and use include revived monsters have increased chance to be rare or magic, monsters sacrificed grant increased tribute, deferring favors at ritual altars cost reduced tribute, and favors deferred at ritual altars reappear sooner. There may be some other useful ones out there, but these are the best ones that I've personally found. Once you're able to afford an audience with a king, it can be used to take you to the crux of nothingness and face the Pinnacle boss, King of the Mists. I'll go over the mechanics of that fight in just a minute, but first, let's talk about the passive tree. The first time you kill the King of the Mists, you will be awarded a skill book with 2 skill points. Every 2 points after that require increasing the difficulty and killing him again. Difficulty will increase from your points spent in the tree, so be sure to spend your points each time you earn them, because you will not be able to earn your next skill book until you do. Your first 2 skill points could go towards one of a few nodes. Spreading Darkness guarantees that ritual maps will have 4 ritual altars, which increases the amount of potential tribute and precursor tablets that you can find. Similarly, From the Mist causes rituals to contain 2 additional packs of Wildwood monsters, also increasing tribute and potential for precursor tablets. Ominous Portent increases the spawn rate for ritual monsters, but it also gives a 50% increased chance to find omens, which can be very profitable. Tempting Offers allows you to reroll favors an additional time and reduces the cost of rerolling by 25%. Ominous Portent is probably the most profitable, and if you're earning a lot of tribute, then Tempting Offers is great for a better chance at having something good show up. But if you're just trying to farm Audience with the King for points as fast as possible, I'd probably go with Spreading Darkness or From the Mists first, because these can get you more tribute and precursor tablets, which can be especially useful early on. Once you get your second kill and set of points though, you should respec into Ominous Portents if you didn't grab that first, so you can grab He Approaches. He Approaches is easily the best node in the entire tree. It increases the chance for revived monsters to be magic or rare, and increases the chance to find an Audience with the King. Your third set of points should get you Tempting Offers. At this point, with the bonuses you're getting to Tribute, Omens, and Audience with the King rates, getting more rerolls is very valuable. And then your last 2 points can go back into either Spreading Darkness or From the Mists. Personally, I'd probably go with Spreading Darkness, but I think they're probably pretty close in usefulness. Now let's go over the boss fight. For full transparency, I haven't successfully completed this fight yet, but I have tried it twice and have all the mechanics here to show you so you know what to expect. To get to the Crux of Nothingness, use an Audience with the King at the Realm Gate near your starting area. You may want to take an Omen of Resurgence, which could save you from death. If you do, be sure to activate it beforehand. The King in the Mist has 2 phases. The first phase is pretty easy, but there are a few things to watch out for. He'll usually start the fight by using a move called Thorn Grip, in which purple thorns will shoot out in a wave in front of him. It's pretty easy to dodge, but if you do happen to get hit by it, it shouldn't do too much damage. They're not that dangerous. He'll usually follow that with one of his more dangerous, potentially one-shot abilities, in which he will raise his staff up in the air and then slam it down and deal a large amount of damage in an area around him. Get out of the way anytime you see this coming. Occasionally, he will teleport away and activate one of these fetishes around the arena. When he does, go destroy it as quickly as possible. You will take increased damage while you're on the platform with them, but if you don't, while they're active, they will spawn in afflicted swarms that will deal chaos damage over time, and toads that will explode. They aren't too bad to avoid at first, but they will pile up, especially if you have multiple fetishes active at once. Similarly, sometimes he will summon totems on the ground that will deal damage over time, and they should be destroyed immediately as well. He will occasionally cast one of 2 curses on you. He will have a voice line of either Keep Running or Traveler's Bane. When he says Keep Running, a purple curse will appear above your head, and you have to keep moving. When he says Traveler's Bane, a red curse will appear above your head, and you have to stop moving. With the stop moving one, you can still move around and dodge roll once or twice in the first couple seconds to avoid taking damage, but otherwise, if you don't follow either curse, you will get rooted in place for a couple seconds. That's pretty much all there is to Phase 1. Once you get him to 25%, you will be teleported to a maze. In this maze, you must find the exit by following the wisps. If you lose track of one, just run around nearby looking for another one to chase. They will lead you to the exit. If you don't find the exit, the room will eventually fill with a fog and kill you, but it's pretty easy to find your way out if you just follow the wisps. Phase 2 is where things get tough. You will teleport back to the arena and the boss will transform and gains a new ability in which he will flash red and then summon this big purple orb that explodes when it lands, and after the explosion it will spawn in purple explosive spores on the ground around it. Your best bet to handle this is to run to the edge of the arena when you see him start to cast it so that the orbs end up mostly out of your way, and then once it's in the air traveling towards you, you want to move away so it doesn't actually hit you. He will still have most of his other moves from the first phase, but the ramps where the fetishes were are no longer accessible, and instead, the afflicted swarms and toads will just be created by the boss himself periodically. He will also summon blood tornadoes and blood waves that you have to watch out for. These, combined with the curse that forces you to stop moving, is what killed me both times. I think if I was ranged, then I could have avoided them much easier, but as a melee, I think ideally you need to lure the tornadoes away from him and then go in for the kill, and be able to deal a lot of damage relatively fast. My apologies for not having a successful kill the show, but I didn't want to hold the video back while I tried to farm out another Audience with a King just to try again. The next time I'm able to try, I'll probably use my Deadeye instead of Monk, because I think I'd have a much easier time with that. If you do manage to kill him, he has 5 uniques that he can drop. 3 of them aren't very good right now, but GGG did just say that they are going to be buffing some uniques in an upcoming patch, so maybe that will change. The 2 that are valuable right now are the Ingenuity Utility Belt and the From Nothing Diamond. The belt is currently going for 5 to 20 divine, depending on the stat rolls you get. The ring provides the ability to allocate passive nodes in the radius of a specific skill without being connected to the tree, and the value of the ring varies depending on which skill you get, ranging anywhere from 40 EX to multiple divine. That's all I got for this one. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. If you enjoyed the video or it helped you out at all, be sure to toss it a like or subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton and is greatly appreciated. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.